What's up, mountain bikers? Dave Davidson here with an episode on what is hybrid mountain bike coaching, why should you care, and is the coaching industry dead? Probably not. Let's talk about it. So first of all, what in the world is hybrid mountain bike coaching? Hybrid coaching is a combination of in-person instruction
And I do feel like I
and
pronounced that pretty close, but I
clinics
feel like you have
online.
pedal strokes.
All right. And the way this looks for someone like you and me is if you go and sign up for in-person instruction right now, let's say maybe you go and hit up like a Ninja mountain bike course. So this is going to be more of group, anywhere from, I think they do like 5 to, I don't know, 30 or like bigger groups. Then also if you go in person, what you're going to get is you're going to get something like small group instruction. So a lot of local coaches do this, and it's usually up to 6. So that's the PMBI and the BICP. Standard PMBI and BICP are the two probably like gold standards for coaching instruction in 2023. This is really good stuff right here. This can be a lot of fun. And the other one as well for in-person, there's also specialized training. So that's like one-to-one or fitness. So imagine if you're going to go try to race and you hire like a fitness coach or a roadie who wants to help you get in shape, because we all know that they're in better shape than we are, right? Specialized coaching, that could be something like in the gym. It could be maybe you're doing something like that. And all of these are usually some kind of form of in-person, okay? And then you've also got on the right-hand side, and by the way, let me kind of pause here and say, here's why you should listen to me for this, because I'm not making this up. There's a couple things that I've found. The reason why hybrid coaching is the way of the future is because there's just some limitations to in-person coaching that you can't get online. And there's some limitations to online or digital group coaching that you can't get in person. So it's just, they play well together, and you don't necessarily need both. But here's the thing. A lot of you right now are struggling, not only with your riding, but with your mindset, and with fear, and with things like, I wonder if I'm ever going to be able to ride like, in a way that matters to me, or you're like, wow, I spent a lot of money on bikes and I kind of can't enjoy them as much as I'd like. Or maybe you're saying, oh my gosh, my friends are leaving me in the dust. And maybe you're not worried about not getting invited back, but it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm the guy in the back. No one wants to be the guy in the back of the group ride. So that's why you should listen to me, because there's actually some insight I'm going to share with you about 3, 4, 5 minutes into this. Once you understand the key concept, I'll explain, hey, this is why it matters and how you can kind of choose which one matters or makes sense for you. So pay attention, and I'll get to that as quick as I can. So online clinics and group coaching, okay? So like hybrid of in-person and group is one way to do hybrid, and hybrid of online and in-person. That's another way to look at it as well. So I'll kind of explain both. I know I kind of bunched them together here. So the clinics, when you do online, there's no riding out to the trail. There's no like, there's a time, and you go and you watch the clinic and you get the coaching and you go apply it on your own time. So this could be something like maybe a live online clinic, live group coaching, live one-to-one instruction, and kind of the same as over here with fitness or flexibility or something like that. You could do live one-to-one fitness mobility, okay? And the main difference between these two models is that this one is generally on the left. The big benefit is that it really helps if you've never been exposed to something before. So if you're a brand new rider, you probably need to go get something in person, right? Something in person, whether it's group, whether it's individual, probably just pick what's comfortable for you. Why is that? Because you need something that absolutely shows you what to do in a comfortable way. I don't care if you're big and bad and athletic and awesome and whatnot. You're probably going to want to feel comfortable on the bike. So maybe you need to go and get a 1 or 2 person group and go get some instruction from a BICP instructor. Or maybe you need to go attend a ninja clinic and do that first, just to kind of get used to and exposed. So this one's really good for initial exposure. All right. Do you guys follow this so far? Does this make sense? So initial exposure, I'm kind of speaking to new riders for this particular, excuse me, for this particular part here. This one's really good for exposure. That's kind of like the best thing for new riders. All right. And then online clinics, the great thing about this is that you can do them anytime, anywhere that you have your phone and an internet connection. The real benefit to kind of online group or one-to-one instruction is that everyone learns from it. Okay. A lot of the complaints I hear, and I'm telling you guys this up ahead of time. So if you choose to go to an in-person clinic, what you're going to hear complain about a lot from people is, I didn't get my question answered. Didn't get attention. And actually that's not the fault of the instructor. It's more the fault of the model, because the model over here in person means that you might have 5 or 10 or 15 other people, and they're just, it's a kind of one direction coaching. They're telling you the idea and you're supposed to take it. Okay. Do you guys follow this so far? And the complaint that sometimes people get with online, this is honestly, it's a little bit rare. I don't get this very often, but I have heard that people are like, well, it didn't make sense to me. And the reason why it didn't make sense is because no one was there at the time with them while they were riding the feature. In other words, they're like, I know I'm supposed to do a front wheel lift over this rock, but how? Like, I can't get my body to do it. So both of these, as you can see, like they have pluses and minuses, and they have different things. Now, the interesting thing is the pluses and minuses, when you put these two together, it takes them all away. All right. So it's like, that's why the hybrid approach is so important. I told you guys a couple minutes ago, you should listen to me because this is important. Now, real quick, before you go, dude, what are you talking about, man? I just need one lesson. Or you might be saying to yourself, this guy, he looks young. He doesn't know what it's like to be old and his body doesn't move the right way. Yeah, I do. When I was in my 20s, I actually had some accelerated injuries and some problems. The other thing too, I'm not making this up because believe it or not, this hybrid model was pioneered specifically online, was pioneered almost 10 to 15 years ago by someone that I used to work for. So it's these groups of people online that would sell these programs. Russell Brunson, Russ Ruffino, and a couple others. And this is where I kind of learned it from. And I've actually been doing this for almost a decade myself. I've been a performance coach or a leadership coach in some form or fashion for nearly a decade. And I've been doing it online. And it's not like, look at me. It's more like, hey, look at why this works. And what they found is when they did a study specifically on online hybrid clinics that did one-on-one and group coaching online, what they found is that when you do a clinic online, 95% of the people that have a question, everybody else has that question too. Now, the other thing to back this up as well is when I talk with my head coach in the program that we work on, Shams March, if you don't know who he is, I'm actually going to be interviewing him either later tonight or tomorrow. So we should have a YouTube episode coming out pretty soon on what it takes to be an instructor. But when I asked him, I said, hey man, when you're coaching the U.S. women's Olympic team, what kind of stuff do you focus on? Because I'm kind of geeking out a little bit that he's coaching them. And he goes, well, Dave, body position, foot position, a little bit of strategy and mindset. I'm like, wait a second. So the same stuff that we coach everybody on? And he's like, yeah, mastery of the fundamentals is mastery. And I was like, hey, sounds good. So the thing is, like, even the U.S. Olympic coach, he uses online one-on-one and group coaching because you can submit a film and look through 5 or 10 videos of someone riding and give them feedback in just a few minutes. You don't have to spend the time to go find a weekend, plan it out 2 weeks ahead, ride together, hope the conditions are good, hope everyone's feeling good, nail the thing that you're trying to nail, and then get some feedback in person. The thing about this is that as long as you have a camera to film you, you can get riding technique coaching. Now, the thing is, obviously, there's more to being a great rider than just getting footage. It's also, how does the body move, which also is a really good fit for online. So how does this feel for you guys? Is this making sense? Does this resonate with you? Put a comment down below if you're like, this idea sucks or this idea is great. And if any of you have done any of this before, let me know what it was like for you. I want to hear back from you guys what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what resonates with you. Now, so what do you do now that you've kind of gotten exposed to this idea of hybrid coaching? Well, one, I would say be on the lookout for opportunities. Okay, so one, opportunities. So the industry is kind of maturing, right? And people are starting to realize after the lockdowns, we got to do Zoom for stuff. Oh, wait a second, we can do a lot of this on Zoom. So I think people are kind of, catching up a little bit, so to speak, and realizing, hey, we can offer our services this way. We can go out there and, I can give you, right now, if you sent me a film of you doing a corner, within 10 seconds, I know exactly what your issue is and why. So when you have a video camera with you on the trail, and again, I use my iPhone. You can use an old iPhone. You can use like a 5-year-old iPhone, and you can get good 1080p quality coaching done just from having the video. Okay. Also, it's really convenient. So if you're like, man, I'm struggling for time, I'm struggling to get results, I have a full-time job, hybrid is really the best way to go because you probably don't live like a professional athlete. Okay. So what I want you to do is change your mindset and be open to the idea that, hey, maybe the approach of finding a one-on-one clinic or finding a group clinic, let it do the work for you that it does. But then when it comes to, hey, I need to get results in 30, 60, 90 days, so I'm ready for that race, or I've been trying to work on this skill for 6 months, how do I do it? Open your mind to how could you use more of a hybrid approach? Okay, so open your mind. Now, how do you discern who's a good, hybrid coach? Well, first of all, you probably want to work with a certified instructor. So I like PMBI, BICP. I'm certified by these guys, so it's like, obviously I'm a little biased. They're both pretty comparable. The other thing too is if you're a beginner, you probably want to join one of those really inexpensive online clinics. I would go check out Ryan Leach's program. Frankly, it's really good. It has a ton of content, and it's really good to kind of go in there and peruse around and get your feet wet with, how to get some very, very basic stuff down. It's got some drills, some things like that. So check that out. That's a good one. And when you're ready to go to the next level, you can always look for someone who understands the difference between the body and its movement and the technique of riding. Does that make sense? So if you're in your 20s, early 30s, you probably want to lean more towards in-person, whether or not your schedule permits it. You want to lean towards that. Why? Because technique exposure is a little bit more important for you. If you're in your mid 30s, so 35, or if your body feels like you're in your 40s and you're a bit younger, anything above that, you really want to do the hybrid approach. And the reason why is because anyone who's coaching you needs to coach your body just as much or more than they need to be coaching your bike technique. Does that make sense? So just look for that. Think about this as much as you can. Go find someone good. And if you have any questions, check the link below. There is a little bit more info on how we might possibly be able to help if this is something you're interested in. But really, again, my purpose with this one is just to get you exposed to the idea. I hope this helps. Hope you guys have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.